Lovely. Seems like we're all there in the background in our virtual room. So pleasure to meet you all. This is sort of my first session doing IAC. So I don't believe I would have met any of you, nor do at least at this point any names look familiar, sort of in the list that I'm reading. I am Arsen Malola, and I will be taking you through IFRS 16 today, and with a few elements of IAS 40 um, uh, for the IAC program. Then I'll be with you again midweek to assist with share-based payments. Stepping in for Kanyi, so I believe Kanyi would have sort of taken you through revenue yesterday. So I will just be taking you through these two courses, and then I believe Kanyi will take care of the rest. So yeah, pleasure to meet you, and looking forward to having an awesome day, sort of speaking all things accounting. Um, I typically assist with the EPC program for accounting, and I used to do sort of ITC. So I haven't done this particular program in a while, but it's quite nice to see how sort of IAC is bridging that gap between sort of what was the previous ITC program with the EPC program, such that there are a lot of similarities now between the two, and really gearing you quite nicely. In preparation for that next exam. But that's a story for another day. Today we're going to be focusing on a technical discussion regarding IFRS 16 and leases. So to run you through our plan for the day, what I thought to do is use the the phase note to just sort of I guess do a quick reminder in terms of what our plan will be for the day. And then just take it from there. Um, because you would have had sort of the accounting sort of class yesterday, feel free to also just pop me sort of a note. I may also just give you a couple of minutes sort of before we sort of kick off the particulars of the particular day. Just to let me know if there's anything particular sort of from yesterday that you thought sort of worked very well, that you want to make sure that we do again in this particular session, or if there's anything that you sort of think sort of could have been done a little bit differently to make these sessions more effective for you. Please let me know. As you know, we really do focus on that personal touch. This is your program. This is sort of your journey. We are supporting you through that. So whatever we can do to help facilitate your success, we will try and accommodate as best we can. Okay. So plan for the day. So while you think about that, I'm going to flip over to the phase note. So today we're going to be doing sort of the leases as we discussed with a few elements of investment property, which we'll also need to be aware of to sort of deal with the discussion question that we're going to be tackling today. And just a bit from sort of provisions, continued liabilities, and continued assets to assist with, again, the discussion paper we're going to be using today as sort of the basis of our discussion. So those are the three main topics. To facilitate our discussions, we're going to have sort of call it maybe three sources of information. So the first will be the question 6 Piper question in your question bank. You would have been asked to sort of prepare this particular question or just read through it, but you will be afforded the opportunity now this morning, as your phase note sort of suggests, to work through it again. I hope it is again, just to refresh your mind in terms of all the issues and all the questions that you had, because we're going to be sort of using that question paper as the basis for our discussions. But that will come a little bit later. So we're almost going to take the 30 minutes, read the question, have those sort of issues and questions and all those experiences you had sort of top of mind. And then what we'll do after 30 minutes is we're going to run through some of the principles sitting in IFRS 16. This is going to be sort of a technical sort of element of the particular session. Where we're going to run through the technical I'm going to highlight a few things in IFRS 16 and the accounting standard, using the slides, using the actual standard itself, just sort of noting sort of key principles that you should be aware of. We'll do a couple of examples here and there, just to sort of make sure that we're sort of on the same page regarding all the practical elements of IFRS 16. And then once then we'll also touch on a few principles in IAS 14. And then once we're done with that, we're going to sort of go back to the discussion question. And then we're going to exercise some exam technique in critical reading skills as we almost work through that particular paper from the scenario. Then we're going to go to the required, where we're going to do a little bit of work planning the required, just to understand what is required from us, linking that to all those acumens and professional competencies that you would have learned in your sort of initial session with Rendani, those initial ones. And then of course we won't ultimately we're not going to sort of redo the solution, because that would essentially require us to like I don't know, spend the whole day doing that. But what the hope would be is that, barring a few items in the solution I may want to point out, I'm hoping that by the time we're done discussing the scenario and discussing the required, when you work through the solution, everything will be much clearer because you understand all the technical nuances driving everything that you're seeing in the solution. So that's the plan for the day. Quite a lot to cover, as mentioned. So we don't have much time. But yeah, just always great to just always have that bird's eye view in terms of what you can expect from our session. Cool. So I'm gonna stop speaking now. So I don't see any sort of comments in the chat at all at this point in time. So yes, as I mentioned, if there's anything sort of according to the plan that I've just articulated versus sort of what you experienced yesterday, anything that doesn't work for you or does work and you really want to emphasize, we make sure that we do, please do let me know. Otherwise, the clock starts now, because I'm guessing there isn't any, just giving it a moment to see whether or not anyone comes off mute. Cool, seems like we're all comfortable. Right, so the clock starts now for your 30 minutes to read through Piper in your question bank. So we're going to reconvene at 8:40. Please make sure you take this time to read the question. It's extremely important that we sort of use this time effectively, because it's a big sacrifice, 30 minutes in our session. Okay, let's reconvene at 8:40. Thanks, everyone.
Asan. Hi, Asan.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Is it possible that you can share the paper on the chat? Hey, I have a problem. I'm unable to log on and I haven't received my pack.
Oh, I don't believe. Let me check. Let me have a check. Because I don't believe we share the electronic versions of the question bank or question sort of on outside of SharePoint. But let me just have a check with the team. That's what I'm busy just typing away here in the background. If you can hear me typing.
Yeah, all right. I'll wait.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Perhaps maybe you can check also for me because I've been having the same issue since yesterday, Asun.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do. I'm just quickly checking. Yeah, if we can share. Thank you.
It's fine, Asun. I came all right with the question papers. Ne? I managed to log in.
Lovely. Thanks. Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button. Cool. And I see Ella's also assisting in the chat here. So awesome. Thanks everyone. Appreciate it. And thanks so much, Ella. Appreciate the support.